Team Canada is stupid. Welcome in the DNVR Avalanche Pregame Show live with J. Mike and Rudo coming to you for the last game of the calendar here. The Colorado Avalanche taking on the St. Louis Blues. Avs have won 8 straight. They're looking to make it 9 straight to end the year. I mean, yeah, it's been... The first half of the year was, a disappointing end of the playoffs and all that. But so far from this season... about as close to perfect as is reasonably possible, no?
Yeah, the redemption tour is off to a pretty good start. I would say it's been pretty surreal to kind of see this team sustain this stretch here. I don't know. I keep thinking at some point they're going to cool off because that's inevitable. That's human nature. And this team is just superhuman. I mean, it's been everything you could ask for, and then probably even more than that.
Yeah, it's been truly ridiculous. For the news of the day, Devon Toews officially announced as part of Team Canada for the Olympics. No big surprise there. We all saw that coming. He joins Cale Makar and Nathan MacKinnon on Team Canada, which is super fun. However, neither parts of the lumberyard get selected to Team Canada, despite their names being in the hat, supposedly. And funnily enough, they faced Jordan Binnington, who did get selected to go to Team Canada. I think it sounds like Logan Thompson is probably going to start for Team Canada anyway, but the Avs not want to kind of punch Jordan Binnington in the face tonight with that announcement?
I would hope so. I would like to see the guys kind of have the backs of the lumberyard. I know they're mature enough to understand how this process works. And I imagine, while it's a disappointment, I don't think it's necessarily shocking. I just will say the fact that Binnington got picked over him, it did disappoint me. Do you feel like this is the potential product of the fact that neither guy is the established one and they're kind of stealing each other's shine in that regard?
I think it's the potential product of Jordan Binnington's GM is also GMing for Team Canada, and that's the only justifiable reason that Jordan Binnington is on the team. Binnington is the worst starting goaltender in the NHL this year, and there is really no justifiable reason to bring him. He's not been a particularly good NHL goaltender. He's had one above league average season in the last 5 years. His international play is actually not very good. Yes, he was great in the Four Nations gold medal game. In that one singular game, had a great game. His total overall save percentage at Four Nations was a .907. He has multiple other international outings with sub-900 save percentages. Jordan Binnington is not good. From a perspective of, did Team Canada bring the best players? The answer is just objectively no. There's no excuse for it. Again, I don't think it mattered that much because it's Logan Thompson's going to be the starter anyway, so whatever. There's also the other side of it that our Toyota chat is talking about. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe the Avs goalie's getting to rest a little bit is the better of two worlds, at least as far as the Avs are concerned, even though I'm sure they wanted to go to the Olympics.
I mean, that's kind of what I talked myself into this morning. I tweeted about that. Just, it's a bummer that it didn't happen. It would have been a fun story. I think Wedgwood especially would have been pretty neat, just given the rise of him this year and how he's really stepped his game up. But that's a bummer. I'm not surprised that politics come into play when it comes to the Olympics. That's long been an issue, across the board in multiple sports. But it seems like a pretty big conflict of interest to have, an active NHL GM who represents players.
Yep.
Determining who's going to represent a country in the Olympics. I mean, I don't know. Does the U.S. do the same thing? Kind of take a shot at Canada, or is that ignorance?
No, U.S. absolutely does the same thing. They're about to bring Brock Faber on the U.S. team over Adam Vox because Bill Guerin is their GM. And that's, if not as bad, maybe more so than not bringing Blackwood or Wedgwood. Like,
dang it.
It's bad. The Hockey International stuff is bad all the way around. There's no winning on that. I don't know. Maybe see, this is why I just end up rooting for Latvia or somebody. Just root for the underdog because these guys make all these stupid decisions. But not the plan tonight. The plan tonight is the Avs going up against one of the worst teams in the NHL. We can bring up the stat cards here. Yeah, bad. There's not a lot of good here. St. Louis, not a good offensive team, not good on special teams, not good at hardly anything. The only thing that they are sort of good at is they're reasonably solid defensively. And unfortunately for them, that gets completely blown up by having the worst goaltending in the NHL. So the one thing you do worry about here is if the Avs are slacking off and maybe let St. Louis's defense shut them down a little bit. That could be an issue, but really there should not be a lot of problems with the Avs tonight. We've seen the Avs win a bunch of games lately, maybe playing stylistically the way their opponents want to, and that's great. The Avs can win in different ways, but tonight is a night where the Avs need to play their game and kind of take control of this one.
Yeah, I mean, you've set the tone here. It would be nice to go out of 25 with a really decisive performance where it feels like the Avs dictate their style and maybe even get the power play going if a guy can ask for a little bit. I don't want to get greedy. Like a power play goal at this point would be pretty nice. I think that needs to be at top of the New Year's resolution board for the Avalanche is fix the power play. J-Mike's trying to get back in shape. The Avs need to shape up their power play, and it feels like tonight is a golden opportunity against a team who's given up a lot of goals.
It should be, but we're at the point with the power play where I'll never believe in it again. And it's like, it doesn't matter. The Avs are just going to win anyway because they're that ridiculously good at 5-on-5. But we're to the point where I'll believe it when I see it with the Avs power play now. Like
potentially shaking some stuff up tonight, right? With the lines we were seeing at practice or at morning skate this morning. A little redundant, but
yeah, I mean, we'll see. You can't have a game like you did on your power play the other day against LA and just be like, this is fine. So,
and it did feel like Bednar had a different tone with his urgency, and
yeah.
You know, he's always so calm and cool that even when he's trying to convey something is pretty paramount, it still comes off so just suave and you know, well, shucks, we'll figure it out. But it does feel like they're to the point now where it's kind of now or never. I mean, I know there's a lot of hockey left, but at some point you kind of are who you are. I mean, we're at the halfway point of the season and still the same struggles.
Yeah, you have, I would say, if you haven't solved it by the end of January, the Avs should maybe consider going out and picking up a PP specialist player. Like a guy who truly excels in that area of the ice. And I know there's probably bigger issues that they want to solve, whether that's another lefty or proper third line center or whatever it is. But at a certain point, you have to acknowledge that the personnel you have is not getting the job done on the power play. And as much as I'm the guy who's like, oh, they play the fourth liners on the power play for a game to send a message. That's to send a message. It's not to, hey, this is our solution to this. Right. Yeah, exactly. So a thing to keep in mind if this continues for the Avs and they don't actually fix this thing. But as for tonight, I mean, St. Louis should be a get-right team. It should be a team that you can work on some of those holes in your game and make them feel a little bit better or look a little bit better. The thing is, for Colorado, they just don't have that many holes. So it's a team that you kind of just expect to show up and roll against a team like St. Louis.
It does feel like it's been a minute since we've seen them have their true A game. Like
True.
they've had some impressive wins. I think beating Vegas in the manner that they did on the road, coming back from multiple 2-goal deficits, the resolve you saw was really encouraging. It
Yep.
was also frustrating that so many times you kept, reburying yourself and having to come out of the hole again. Utah, you grind out a 1-0 win, but the games against them have been weird in general.
Yeah.
They do a good job of mucking it up, but like it does feel like the Avs are due for another Minnesota-esque performance where you really kind of lay it on someone. And this is a far easier matchup than that one was at home against a much worse team with a much worse goaltender. I'm just going to keep Binnington is a guy who I now have beef with. I'm just going to lean into this and
Yes.
have the back of the lumberyard. Screw him. I hope they lay it on him tonight.
Me too. And there is something to be said that you want to see the Avs put the puck in the back of the net. I know, yes, they completed that comeback against Vegas, and yeah, you finally got some guys on the board against LA, but we're not that far removed from that 1-0 game and the start of that Vegas game where the Avs went 90-some minutes where the only goal scorer for them was Sam Girard. Like, you need more guys scoring than that, and it's the top six has been really good, but the guys actually putting the puck in the back of the net have pretty much just been McKinnon, Natchez, and Nelson. You love to see Landy put a puck in the back of the net. You love to see Val put a puck in the back of the net. You get down into your bottom six. Drury scored the other night. You'd love to see Colton put a puck in the back of the net. Olofsson just can't seem to start scoring consistently for this Avs team. He's another guy you want to see score a little bit more. So there's plenty of guys where you look at a Jordan Binnington having a horrible year and you'd say, hey, you'd like to see you put one past this guy if you're the Avs. If the Avs go on and win this game 2-1, I'm not going to be upset about it, but this is a team you can improve some of those guys on, right?
It feels like a perfect opportunity for somebody like Big Val, who I think is due. He's playing so well.
Agree.
And it just feels like he's any night now. We're going to get a 2-goal game from him where he's everywhere and puts 6 shots on net and, really does what we know he's capable of. And it's been good that the finishing rate has been so high from guys like Nelson and McKinnon. Like, they've been unworldly at times, but is that sustainable over the course of an 82-game season? You need some of these other guys in the top 6 to kind of pick it up with a little more consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, like you said, Landy, I think, has played quite well also, but at a certain point, those pucks have to start going in for those guys just to balance the scoring of the lineup a little bit. But these are just our thoughts on it. We also got what Jared Bednar wants to see tonight at morning skate. So let's hear from Coach Bednar on this one.
Questions for Jared? Open up, go ahead.
Coach, obviously, Team Canada roster name this morning, Carroll, McKinnon, Taves. Just how proud are you of your guys?
Yeah, very proud. I think well-deserved from all those guys, no question. All 3 of them played well last year at the Four Nations. They're having great seasons. Wish them luck.
Ollie?
The Blues have obviously had a little bit of a struggle this season. What are you looking at going into this game, facing Binnington in net and just how they've been playing?
Yeah, I mean, we can't focus too much on what they're doing. I think it's like every team can beat every other team on any given night. That's the facts. So you have to make sure that our game is in order. They've gone through stretches this year where they've looked really good. They've gone through stretches they've looked not so good. I think it's the same with any team. I think you got to focus on what you do and what you need to do to be successful. Our team's done a nice job of that to this point. We're focusing on some similar things again tonight.
Eric?
Just for starters, Mackenzie Blackwood starting.
Yes.
And then for Team Canada, I'm curious, how much of a curiosity do you have, like, waking up this morning to see the roster that's revealed? Not just your guys, but just being a Canadian, like, in general.
It's low. Not gonna lie to you. It was low on my priority list this morning. Getting ready for tonight, and our team is my focus. But I mean, I haven't even looked at the whole thing yet. But I'm curious to see. Like, there's some tough decisions to make in every position, right? And you're never going to get all the insight as to why they made those decisions. You know, they're trying to build the best team, so they got guys that can play in all situations and backups to those guys, and there's tough decisions for every country, I would imagine. So it's going to be a good team. Team Canada's going to be a good team. Team USA is going to be a good team. And why they choose the guys that they do and who makes it and who doesn't on some of the bubble guys, I'm sure there's a lot that goes into it. I'm not part of it, so I'll enjoy watching the team, whoever they pick.
Jesse?
Neither of your goaltenders end up on that roster. Do you think that puts a little bit of a chip on their shoulder?
I hope so. Yeah. Again, tough decisions. I think both guys are capable. I think both guys have had seasons that got them in the conversation. Different decisions were made. I get it. I mean, they're never easy decisions. I wish they would both be there, Like to see all of our guys get the opportunity to play in something like this. But they're not. So you have to move on and focus again on the job that they got to do here tonight and moving forward until that break.
Devon said, he's in a unique situation where his wife is due in February.
Yeah.
He basically said he would put his family first, which I'm sure doesn't surprise you, knowing
Yeah.
him. What does that just say about his character?
Well, I mean, we know his character, right? Like he's all-in team guy, and his number one team is his family. So, I mean, I think you got to be there. You got to try to be there, and hopefully that happens before he goes. He can get the family settled in back at home. But it's an exciting time as a parent, father, and I think that he's making the right decision.
Last couple, Bailey.
As a coach, I'm sure there's been a lot of really good accomplishments over the 2025 season, coaching some guys to the Four Nations roster, coaching some guys to an Olympic spot. But as a coach, looking back on the year that was 2025, what do you feel like your biggest accomplishment for this team was?
Oh, putting me on the spot. I can get some warning on that. I don't know. Listen, I've always been this way. I'm going to take it a different turn to the negative. I've always been this way, and I remember almost all of our losses, how we lost them, and I remember very few of the wins. Okay, it's just something about me as a person. I expect to win, and it's not arrogance. It's just I expect our team to play well. I expect them to win, and I don't get excited too much about every single win we have. But I do get mad at all the losses. And so if I'm thinking about our team in 2025, the highlight is the team and what we're doing right now. Okay. The negative is we didn't win our last game of the year last year, and that sticks with me, so simple answer, I guess.
Finish with Rachel.
Well, mine was a similar one. I know how much you love my holiday questions. So
Yeah.
last one for a while at least. One word to describe 2025. And one word to describe what you hope 2026 will be.
So I'll go the same way. 2025, professionally, I would say was disappointing. I'm going back to last season. And then, I'm optimistic, 2026.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
There you go. From top to bottom, the expectations are the moon for the Colorado Avalanche. Anything less than a championship, and all you remember are the losses. Bedsy's one of us.
He's a sicko, and it's why we love him.
Yeah, not wrong. Not wrong.
I love the question from Bailey. No surprise, by the way. She always kills it, but that made me smile. That was pretty cool.
Not often you get Bednar to have to think a little bit. He's usually ready for all the tough questions.
He's kind of a robot at times. That was pretty cool.
Sliding back into tonight's game, though. Look, I am of a bigger mindset. I'm always a guy that looks at the big picture more than the little picture. I'm not too worried about one game at a time and things like that. In that regard, is this not just a bonus game? The Avs have 65 points. Yeah, sure, you'd love to see him win 9 in a row. You'd love to see him go 30 wins to start the year in the first part of this season. But I'm just not too worried about the result of this game. Is that me just being soft?
No, I mean, you're on pace to be the best team in NHL history statistically. So you have a little bit of slack. You've put a little bit of distance between you and Dallas, which, going back a month ago, you kind of asked me, when do you stop, feeling nervous or something along the lines of that? Like, when can you breathe? And essentially my answer was when you no longer have to look in the rear view and like, oh man, they're right there. They're riding us. That said, would be nice to close out the year on a high note, especially going back to, what Bednar's talking about with the Dallas stuff last year. Like, it was hard. Last year hurt as much as any sports loss I think I've ever kind of gone through as a diehard sports fan and somebody who was really fortunate who got to, write about their journey and travel for it. It was overwhelming to kind of like see the guys and how hard that they took it, and seeing the way that they've come out and responded this year, it's got me jacked up, man. Like this team has, you hear so often in the preseason about, oh, we're motivated, we're it's gonna be different, and then it's the same old shit.
Yeah.
This team's played with purpose, and like they've backed up everything that they've said, and that message has never wavered. Even going back to what Bednar just said right there, there's a different focus level, and because of that, like, keep stacking dubs. No, it's not the end of the world if you lose this game, but why not make it 9 in a row? Because you've already won 8 straight.
There is, I think all of us on this Avs beat have spent the majority of this season trying to explain it, whether it's someone like me who gets deep into the statistics and looking for quantitative things, or our writers like yourself and Bailey that are try to have these qualitative pieces about what's different about this Colorado Avalanche team. And I think we are deep enough into this season where we can all agree that it might be something unexplainable, but it's there. That whatever special stuff is there with this Colorado Avalanche team that frankly, you try to convince yourself otherwise every year, but it hasn't felt like this since 22. Like, there's something different.
There's a special quality to this team that is, and obviously when you have 65 points before New Year's, it's like pretty simple of just, well, the proof's in the pudding, but yeah, it's not really something you can quantify. It's something that you feel. It's a vibes thing. And
yep.
The vibes are incredible with this team. And some of that has to do with, you've been really fortunate injury-wise. Like, the vibes were pretty crazy with the Nuggets coming into the year, and that can change in a heartbeat, and everybody's aware of that. So, like, you have to live week to week. As much as it is Stanley Cup or bust, so much can change between now and April, May. But as of right now, there's no reason not to believe that this team can't do anything, because what they've done is unprecedented. And they just continue to shock me. Like, you said the other night after the Vegas game, like, I'm just not going to doubt this team anymore. And that's just kind of where I'm at. Like, if you were like, they came back from down 5 goals in the third period, I'd be like, wow, that's crazy. But if you were like, are you shocked? No, because this team can do anything.
Right. It's like, oh, they just did it again, huh? Okay, cool.
Oh, sweet. I bet the power play was 0 for 6 and they still won.
As Toyota Chat is talking about, Tiff threw it in there. Kiviranta out tonight officially with a lower body injury. Of course, you never want to see anyone injured, but an opportunity for Zakhar Bardakov to get back into the lineup and maybe earn himself a little bit. Can we see something from the Avs' fourth line here? They haven't played their best hockey as of late. Could Bardakov be a little bit of a spark for them?
This feels like an opportune matchup for it, right? A team who's been a little soft defensively, who's given up a lot of goals. Like, this should be, especially in a game where they're going to be fixated on trying to slow down those top guys and not getting just completely overwhelmed by the Nathan McKinnons of the world. It would be nice to get a Bardakov, or even like the third line. Can you get more from Drury or Brindley or whoever it may be? Just somebody get in there and get a spark going.
Yep. you'll take it however you can get it. But I look at every situation and it's like, yeah, I want these things, but do the Avs really need anything right now? The answer is mostly no. Just keep doing what you're doing, and it's all good. It's hard to be upset with too much with this team. Here's the thing, chat. The Avs don't even need Kadri. Like, Brock Nelson is doing just fine as 2C. Arguably, like, he's not going to have the point totals Kadri had in 2022, but he is on pace to score more goals than Kadri did in 2022. Like, you don't need Kadri.
He's serving his role perfectly.
Yep.
Like, Kadri, it would be a fun reunion story and all that, but I wouldn't want to mess with that second line too much. I think you finally kind of fixed what you've spent 3 years trying to resolve.
Yep. Yeah, it's... People want Kadri
Want to
for
be
the
a
vibes
3C with a
more than
massive
anything.
pay cut? I don't even think that's possible, but...
I mean, if Calgary wants to retain half for another 5 years, sure, I'm interested. But Calgary's not doing that. Like, come on.
I don't know. This Avs front office, man, Super Joe and McFarland, they're wheeling and dealing. They're the kind of guys where I feel like it's to the point now, if I were an NHL GM and I'm sitting in my living room and it's like 8:45 and watching Stranger Things or whatever, and your phone rings, it's Joe Sack. Just don't. Why would you pick up the
Do
phone?
not
You're about
answer
to
that
swindle,
phone.
dude.
Yeah.
You're gonna get hustled.
Columbus is sitting there right now like, we really gave them Gavin Brindley, huh? This is what happened?
We did them a favor in the process.
Yeah. It's tough out
It's
here.
just like I just want to witness one of those conversations, like how smooth-tongued he must be to just like convince you that this is exactly what you need, and then you walk out and they're just like, what the hell just happened? I don't know, but I signed my car over to him too. Like, what happened?
Must be nice to have that talent. Couldn't be me for sure.
I'd be making so much more money in like a fancy field if I was that
Right.
smooth.
Instead, I've been doing a hockey podcast for 7 years, stumbling over my words the entire time. So here we are. J. Mike, let's look into the future here. Bust out the crystal ball. Give me a score. Give me a name. What's going to happen in this game?
I think this is a beatdown. I really do. I'm going 5-1 Avs, and I'm gonna say that Landy scores tonight. I just, it's a vibes thing. I've said him a couple of times, just kind of trying to will it, but I just feel like there's something in the air tonight. You know, he came back in 2025. We're getting the full Landy experience. Let's close it out with the fairy tale moment and get him a goal.
What's the highest amount of goals the Avs have ever scored in a game? I think it's 11.
So 11 or 12, yeah.
Yeah, we'll go 12 to nothing. Absolute.
If you hit this one, you go buy a lotto ticket.
Absolute murder of St. Louis is what I want to see. I also had Landy picked, but I'll take the other side of it and take Nichushkin then. Second line popping off
That's
tonight.
who I was going to go with otherwise. I like it.
There you go. There you go. Second line going to fly tonight, whatever the score is. Feeling good about this one. If it doesn't happen, not too worried about it. Whatever goes down in the game, you can make your pre-game picks with Bet365, where, of course, things are never ordinary. I did have that Landy goal on here, which is plus 200. But I also took the Avs over 4.5. So I do think the Avs are going to score a lot in this one. And then just feels like a soft bet. 21.5 saves for Blackwood. Not that hard of a number to get to. I know St. Louis isn't very good, but that's not a ton of shots on goal against for Blackwood to stop. So hopefully you can get there on that one. You can follow my pregame picks or bet on whatever you like with Bet365. Of course, when you do gamble with them, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or somebody who knows a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. Inside of 10 minutes to puck drop here, J. Mike. Who jersey you got on today?
I'm rocking Super Joe tonight.
Super Joe. You were rocking Forsberg the other night. He's got all the old school. Kicking it OG.
I had expendable income when I was like 18, 19. And so these will be the jerseys that I die in.
Yeah. Turns out houses are expensive.
Yeah. It's no fun when you get a little bit of Christmas money and it's that'll go to the fence.
Yeah. Need to get my car fixed. All right. Well, the Avs have an embarrassment of riches, so they're not worried about fixing those things. They're worried about stacking it up. See if they can get 15 in a row at home on this one, too, and ring in the new year with 30 wins. We're going to wrap up this pregame show. We appreciate all y'all hanging out with us. Watch along coming your way in a little bit with Micah and myself, and then Mike and I will break it all down postgame. Hopefully, we're done before local New Year's at least. We'll see you in a little bit. This has been the DNVR Avalanche pregame show. Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.